I'm pleased to announce today that $13.7 million in economic development grants for rural communities and Native American organizations are being done today in 48 states. These funds will jumpstart economic development across the United States. They will save or create, we estimate, 3,000 jobs. The citizens of rural Illinois will benefit in this effort. Almost $280,000 of these funds will go to 3 Illinois recipients. For example, in northern Illinois, a rural development grant will assist in replacing deteriorating stormwater drains that lead to flooding in the business district. I also want to announce today an $8.8 million for a loan and grant to EJ Water Cooperative here in Illinois to build a water treatment plant. This plant will provide a stable, low-cost supply of clean water to thousands of residents in 7 counties in central and east central Illinois. It will treat 1 million gallons a day and could triple its treatment capacity to accommodate future growth. Dependable water systems are absolutely essential to the health and growth of our rural communities, for everything from business development to farming operations to personal health and to personal safety. I would like to invite Bill and Delbert of EJ Water Cooperative to join me so I can present a check, and then I'm going to invite them to say a few words. Here's the check. Gentlemen, this is what they call a photo opportunity. So,
do I go this way?
Oh, we need to step this way. Okay, great. Go ahead and say a few words.
Go ahead.
Delbert?
He's our spoken. Okay. There you go.
On behalf of our board of directors and staff and the membership of our cooperative, we're grateful for the support that rural development gives us, and we couldn't build this system without their help. This is going to impact thousands of people down in the Effingham County area, and we're grateful for the support that rural development has given us. Thank you.
Delbert, are you sure you don't want to say a word?
Just saying, and many, many thanks. It's really grateful.
Great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we see this as a great investment in Illinois and rural counties, in the cooperative, and in the future growth of the state. Now let me, if I might, just offer a couple of thoughts on a couple of issues, and then I'll be happy, as I said, to take some questions from the media before we go on to our next thing. There are 2 subjects that I'd like to address. With the Senate scheduled to take up the Farm Bill in September, I'd like to offer a few words, if I could, on what I would describe as a work in progress. The administration, as you know, proposed a farm bill that ended subsidies to those who are among the wealthiest 2% of American tax filers. This measure alone would have saved about $1 billion in savings. This is money that, quite honestly, we did not want to take out of farm policy. We wanted to reinvest it in farm policy, right back into states like Illinois, for agricultural priorities, a strong safety net, conservation programs, renewable energy, and rural development. Why are we pushing that kind of reform in our Farm Bill initiative? Well, we did Farm Bill listening sessions all across the United States. Farmers coast to coast told me during the USDA Farm Bill forums that they wanted a strong safety net. They wanted to make sure that we did everything we could to keep that in place while protecting our programs from being labeled wasteful spending. Critics increasingly call attention to the tens of millions of dollars tax dollars that are not going to the small family farms or farms across this country, but instead go to places like New York City, Washington, D.C., or other major metropolitan areas. That's right, government checks regularly arrive in the mailboxes of millionaires who live in cities out of the farm program. Even audiences opposed to payment limits have been shocked when I show a map of Manhattan filled with red dots designating the wealthy investors who live on Park Avenue who receive farm subsidies. Very clearly, it's time for change, and there is no better time to do it than now. In this regard, we saw the House-passed bill as a step backward. There's time to ensure that this farm bill achieves a strong safety net in funding for agricultural priorities in a fiscally responsible way. This farm bill from the House, which was really the first time in history, included a tax increase. This administration doesn't stand for tax increases, and I have to tell you, as I talk to farmers across the country, I don't remember a single instance where a farmer came to me at a forum or off the stage and said, "Mike, we need to raise taxes for our farm programs." My hope is that as the Senate examines some of these important issues and others, that they will take a good, strong look at what we're doing. I must admit I am encouraged by some of the ideas that have surfaced from the chairman of the Senate Ag Committee, Tom Harkin. We're anxious to work with him. The final subject that I wanted to talk about today relates to some pending agreements we have relative to trade. U.S. agricultural exports should reach this year $77.5 billion. That's $8.8 billion over the 2006 level. Almost $4 billion of these exports come from Illinois, which exports about 40 to 45% of its agricultural products. You are the fourth ranking state in overall ag exports if you live in Illinois. These exports support jobs, about 50,000 of them for the state of Illinois. To keep our exports growing, we must maintain export markets through the kind of solid farm policy we're laying out in the administration's Farm Bill proposals, through the Doha round, and through free trade agreements. That's why this administration is urging Congress to ratify 4 very, very important trade agreements for agriculture. They are the free trade agreements with Panama, Peru, Colombia, and Korea. These agreements are important to the Midwest producers of feed grains, corn, wheat, soybeans. They're also important to producers who raise beef and pork. The FTA with Panama will eliminate duties on more than 60% of current U.S. trade. 60%. That number is 90% for the free trade agreement with Peru. Korea has a $1 trillion economy. It's our 7th largest trading partner. Under the FTA with Korea, nearly $1.6 billion worth of farm exports will become duty-free immediately. Passage of the Panama, Peru, and Colombia free trade agreements will provide duty-free market access to a combined population of 75 million consumers that have a gross domestic product of $575 billion. It's a very significant market. Our ag exports to these 3 countries, by the way, have risen by 37% in the last 5 years. So the message is clear. The benefits are very, very real, and we're going to do everything we can to work with our ag groups and to work with Congress to ratify these free trade agreements. Thank you very much.